way we funded it was George, being a medical practitioner, we decided to do for 3 months very intensively a radio locum service, an emergency service. And I drove the cars while he did the doctoring, and we got a lot of anecdotes and stories for the film by visiting these sort of road trauma people who'd just come through the experience on Saturday nights and so on. So we were able to earn a fair bit of money in that short period to enable us to finance the whole of the writing.
George would be sitting in the back of the van, the bongo van, working on, I assume, working on scripts. It was a film script, I think, not medical scripts he was working on.
You know, I'd spent a long time writing Mad Max, but I needed some flavour in the dialogue, which I wasn't able to get. I was sort of struggling with it. And I remember a really long drunken night with James McCausland, who at the time was the finance editor for The Australian, based out of Melbourne. And he's a wonderful big New York Irishman with a big beard, and he had this ability to quote, you know, verbatim, almost any movie. His memory for dialogue was really fantastic.
So he rang me up and said, "How would you like to write a movie?" And I thought, oh, this guy's kidding me, mate. Yeah, sure, you know, why not? Of course, never having written a movie in my life. I thought it was astounding, but he was serious, and we got down to work. George and I were talking about what people say when they come out of movies. Like, you remember the bit when, you remember the bit when. And we got on to what turned out to be a joint little bit of wisdom, was all that Spielberg and company were doing, was stringing together, you remember the bit whens, and making it into a movie. And I love talking about movies, and George was a great talker about movies, and so it was basically through my friendship with George that I wanted to get involved with the movie. I didn't think that I had any credentials. I was a bit worried, but I just love talking about film with George. George has a wonderful visual imagination, and he could see everything, you know, very clearly in his head. I found that difficult at first, but I got a hold of it, and basically learned that film writing wasn't just writing dialogue. We decided to start off, whereas usually a story might start like that and build to a crescendo. We started off at a crescendo and built to a decrescendo. We started off with that sensational chase in the beginning, and all of the dialogue of the people involved in the chase, Jim Goose at Fat Nancy's, telling stories. Yeah, I wrote all of that sort of stuff, and George would come in and see if it fit with what we wanted to do. And we patterned it after Alfred Hitchcock, who had every shot, every camera angle in his script. Because we had no money, we couldn't afford the luxury of 30 takes. The 30 takes had to be when we were writing the script. That's when we had the 30 takes. Once we were making the movie, there was one take, and let's hope it works.
We had to come up with the name of the film, and I thought, it's got to be an easy name. It's got to be one that alliterates, and it's got to be relatively short. And somehow the name Mad Max popped into my mind, and I thought, oh, what a great name, because the first two letters of each word are the same, and then you've got the X on the end. It was a strong, impactful name, and it sounded slightly futuristic.